What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozor here. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, we're going to go over some news that Plarium just dropped, and we're going to go over my opinions on everything here and give you guys the lowdown on all that. But first, I want to go over the 5 giveaway winners. I recently did a 2024 roundup video, so if you guys were watching that, and if you guys submitted a comment with the word roundup, single word, we can do the draft here in this video. So first, I'm going to do the 5 winner draft for that video first. And then we'll jump into exactly what Plarium has given us in terms of news for today. So stay tuned for all that. Before we get into that, I want to sincerely apologize for some of the recent audio distortion issues I've had in some of these videos. For reasons that basically I cannot reproduce certain videos, I had to just upload them and hope they do okay. Obviously, listening to distorted audio is not the best, so I sincerely apologize for that. I'm working as hard as possible to get it fixed. I also tried to have an editor kind of undistort some of the audio, but it wasn't as helpful as I thought. But a lot of effort was put into trying to make those videos work. Please bear with me, and thank you so much for your understanding so far. So let's jump right into the video and the winners first. All right, guys, so I'm going to use this trusty comment picker here. I got the link to the video, and we will fetch anything goes keyword filter. So this is why it's important to have the proper requirements done. So round up in a single word. We are looking at how many comments. Remember, it's going to be 5 winners. I think the big prize is 400 energy and a legendary book. So definitely worthwhile to jump in on some of these giveaways. 1,100 comments. Very, very nice. So we're going to be picking 5 winners here. So look out for your name, guys. Isaiah, number 1. Congratulations there. Number 2, Assassin. Happy New Year to you as well. Congratulations. Ethan Child, congratulations as well. Congratulations on Wixwell as well. So number 3. So number 4, Indigenous Soul, congratulations. Help me, you are helped. Congratulations. And the last winner is John Dunnington. I would really like to win the Roundup contest. There you go, buddy. Congratulations to the 5 winners. I'm going to make a community post with the 5 winners here just in case you guys missed it. If you guys are the lucky 5 winners, please reach out to me in the comment sections below with your UMID. We really appreciate that. Or you can look for my Discord. I will provide my Discord ID in the comments below and the description below, so you guys can reach out to me personally. If you guys are interested in more giveaways, I do giveaways on my Discord basically bi-weekly or bi-monthly. What is it? Twice a month? Bi-monthly, sorry. Twice a month. I basically do giveaways there. I also find other ways to do giveaways on my channel as well. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys drop by my Discord, and then you guys can get in on some of these giveaways. And like I said, they happen all the time. And you know, just law of numbers. Eventually, you'll probably win one. So anyways, let's jump into the video here. All right, guys, so Plarium gave us this little bit of news here, but basically it's what I've already kind of speculated on in my previous video about Alice in Wonderland. So basically they have yet to confirm that it's actually Alice in Wonderland, but based on everything that we know about it, it's probably going to be some kind of multi-month event that is going to be based around Alice in Wonderland. And it's probably going to be similar to the Asgardian Divide event that they had for the Asgardian champions, as we all speculated here. So anyways, in this official note from Plarium, it says, hey guys, as we teased last year, a particular journey awaits for all raiders, air buzzing, mystery, blah, blah, blah. Champions, 5 new champions. It does mention legendary champions. So as I mentioned and speculated, there was 5 potential, very popular characters that Plarium definitely could target for a event like this. So we went over that in its entirety. I'll show you guys again which characters we were talking about. Here we go. For those that missed the earlier video, it was Alice, the Mad Hatter, the Cat, and the King and Queen of Hearts. So those were basically my ideas of what potential champions it could be that they can incorporate. So Plarium does confirm that there are 5 characters they're going to put into this event. So these would be the 5 for my picks. I chose the Disney images just to make sure it's consistent. I'm hoping it's going to be like way darker than this. I think that, you know, Raid would probably make the characters way darker and do a little twist on the story, of course, right? But anyways, just a quick recap here of which characters I was initially talking about a couple days ago. So back to the news here. So they say there's 5 legendary champions that's going to be part of the event. The event dungeon will also be open. As we speculated, the event dungeon will likely be open, and we don't know exactly what will happen because in the previous event dungeon, it was Odin, and Odin was also a champion. So, it's possible that one of the characters that they introduced, perhaps the Queen of Hearts, could be part of the event dungeon. We don't know for sure. And similarly, as the Odin event dungeon was happening, they are offering pinpoint gear. So what was surprising last time for the Odin event dungeon was that they offered pinpoint gear with crit damage gear, and then 3 or 4 really bad gear sets. But they also offered the accessories, the pinpoint accessories as well. So there was, I believe, 9 slots. 3 of them were accessories, 1 pinpoint gear, and then 4 or 5 really bad sets. The crit damage set is in there, but then there was 4 sets that were not very good. So it's probably going to be similar this time. So expect to get a lot of pinpoint accessories, but not so many good pieces of actual pinpoint. Again, this is just going to be a big energy dump for people. Expect overpriced energy packs, as was the case when the event dungeon was open. So hopefully you guys have some gems and resources saved up for the next couple of months, to be honest, because having to buy energy is going to be it's going to be expensive for sure. And again, as we speculate, there will be 1 free champion as part of a loyalty program. From what I read from this loyalty program, you guys can take a quick read yourselves. I don't have to read to you guys, but they basically said after 7 days, you get the champion. After 14 days, you get the 2-star soul, and then you have 21 days to get the rest of the goodies. They don't specifically say you get a 5-star soul at the second phase, at the end of the second phase. So there is like a door or a window for Plarium to kind of sneak out of and avoid giving us the full 5-star soul for the loyalty program champion. But we can assume that it's probably going to be the 5-star soul, considering that they've given us the 5-star soul basically for the last previous couple of loyalty champions. But expect a free login champion, guys, so make sure you guys stay tuned for all that. The confirmed date that this will all start is actually January 8th. They actually teased this in the teaser that they provided in the link below. So let's jump into that. We're going to watch the teaser here real quick. All right, here it is. Actually, they do, you can slow it down here. So first off, this is some kind of helmet that they teased. So some kind of helmet, not too sure. It kind of looks like Mother Cybele, to be honest, but it could be somebody totally different. Could be Mad Hatter-esque, but let's have a look. We see some stuff in the background. Looks like a flaming sword, looks like a white rabbit. Could be a white rabbit. They teased Razovarg to the content creators in a kind of cryptic message. We're not sure if the white rabbit will be Razovar or a completely separate champion. Oh, this looks like a king or queen. Look at this. This potentially is the Queen of Hearts, and this is maybe off with your head. Maybe somebody's getting beheaded. And then this looks like a character that, fluffy white bunny. I mean, this looks like a fluffy white bunny. So it has to be the white rabbit that's probably going to be part of this set here. Yeah, oh, that looks like a gesture, some kind of Joker hat. Yeah, it definitely looks like the Mad Hatter type head or headpiece here. And then we go into this. This is probably like the throne place, maybe. Somebody's falling from the sky. That's gotta be Alice, right? But it looks like a dark Alice. It looks like she's pretty ragged, right? I don't know. It looks almost like Lady, almost Annabelle-esque, right? Anyways, comes down here into this stopwatch, has some eyes, has a mouth. Very interesting glove piece here. Hard to decipher anything else. But yeah, kind of spooky. I kind of like the theme of it so far. It's kind of spooky, maybe kind of dark. Alice in Wonderland theme here. Anything else? A new adventure awaits. And then there's a spade here. That's kind of interesting. I mean, spade could be, could allude to cards, some kind of cards. Not too sure. But January 8th. So January 8th, it's going to start. Yeah, we're going to probably get more and more news about this as the days progress. But again, you guys heard it here first a couple days ago. We already speculated against the Alice in Wonderland free loyalty champion event dungeon all opening. It could be, yeah, I think it's probably going to be the Queen of Hearts as for the event dungeon, which kind of makes sense based on that teaser there. But anyways, let's jump into the other news that's happening as well. All right, guys, so coming up this weekend, there's actually going to be a progressive event here, and it's going to be including these champions. Some really, really good champions here. We have Harima, Otherion, UDK, Mighty Uko, Corvus the Corruptor, and then for Voids, Taras, Insenza, and Riho Bonespear. Some really, really good champions there. And then we actually have some Mikage pieces as well for the epics. So personally speaking, these progressive events are very hard to hit, especially if they're non-voids. If they're voids, on a 15x, you get about 20% chance. On a non-void, you're looking at about 7% chance. So it's a very, very hard sell to try to go for these champions, unless you're really close to Mercy and you feel like, you know, there's other, you know, value. Maybe the Summon Rush or whatever is just going to be really good. But usually just hold pat, especially with this new event just announced, January 8th. Is the launch date for it. You might want to consider saving your resources instead of spending them this weekend for these Summon Rush champions. So, like, quickly going over like some of these champions, like Harima here, absolutely amazing champion, right? We have Harima. Yeah, her passive makes her standalone just super, super good. 50% ignore defense effects or decrease is just crazy. Also hits pretty hard, has scaling, can increase her damage over time. Which is very good. She can, yeah, she does a lot. Also brings decreased attack as well. Also pairs very well with Mikage. Good in Hydra, good in Chimera, good in Arena, good in PvP, good everywhere. Great champion overall. Up next, we got Wallmaster Otherion. I recently pulled this guy for a viewer, but Wallmaster Otherion is actually really strong as well. We did mention him quite a bit. He does bring AoE block buffs with the AoE max HP hit. It's very, very good to have a damage dealer with the very relevant debuff that doesn't actually happen that often. There's not that many champions with the AoE block buff that bring additional benefits, right? So having somebody that brings it plus damage, self-sustain himself with the buffs, self-sustain himself with the passive. He's just really strong champion. He's a little bit squishy with his base stats, but I mean, he's a damage dealer. You just keep him alive with other ways with your team support. But a great champion overall, good for damage, good to bring the block buffs. Up next, we have UDK. If UDK used to be obviously a free champion, he defined the meta for Arena a lot. He's very good for PvE. He can cheese some content as well. Like, for example, like Spider, for example, he's very, very good. He just soaks up all the little guys. Arena, he's still a menace, still very good. But yeah, he's going to be up for grabs here. Brings his crazy passive, brings his crazy sustain. Great champion overall. And yeah, some people actually build him with damage as well. So he's a sneaky damage dealer as well. Up next, we have Mighty Uko. So Mighty Uko was fixed, I think, not too long ago. But he was pretty meta back in the day, especially for Live Arena. When Live Arena first came out, this guy was super, super strong. Mainly because he brings a revive, he brings the double hit here with the strip, and then he has a passive with the strip as well. But a bunch of AoEs in his kit makes him really, really hard to deal with, especially if he's in a really fast stun set, for example. So right now you can actually build him out with like stun set and stone skin, and then he can just steal all your stuff while being protected, and then obviously stun you and all that stuff, and he can strip you as well. He's a very nasty control champion as well as a reviver. But he was kind of nerfed here. He used to double hit, so he had 2 chances. But now this is reduced to basically 1 occurrence of this happening instead of 2 occurrences. So it's a little bit worse, but he's still super, super good. Lastly, for the non-voids, Sacred Order here, we got Corvus. Corvus, very good, very strong in those Wixwell clan boss teams. He makes it very easy. He has the decreased duration of all enemy debuffs and increased duration of all ally buffs on a 3-turn. Very, very good. He also brings poison damage as well. Can be used just for a general poison damage dealer, but the buff extension is actually really, really strong on him. So definitely a good champion overall. As for the voids, we have some of the best void champions available up for grabs. We have number 1, we have Taras here. Obviously, still one of the best HP-based damage dealers in the game. Definitely, probably the best still non-mythical HP-based damage dealer, and probably definitely in the conversation for top 3 non-mythical damage dealers as well overall in the game. Great damage dealer overall, great survivability with his passives, and he has the partner bonus with Marichka that makes you just rue the day. But yeah, Taras is up for grabs. Up next, we also have Insenza. Incense is actually a really, really strong support champion. I have her on my other account. She brings the A1 ally attack with your strongest, well, highest crit damage champion, which just gives her basically that default ability, which is really, really strong. Brings the increased speed Poison Cloud, which is one of the few, I think she's the only champion that can place Poison Cloud. Basically, when you have a champion buffed up with Poison Cloud, the enemy hits into you always with weak hits. So it's very, very strong in Hydra to bait the Head of Mischief so that they never steal your stuff. And then she brings a AoE decreased defense and weaken, and will ignore block debuffs. On a 3-turn cooldown, not as strong as like Lydia, for example, but still very good overall in her kit. Accuracy in all battles. A little bit of an accuracy boost on her passive as well. Great champion overall. A little bit weaker after the Hydra fix that has yet to be fixed again. But still very strong overall. Lastly, for the voids, we have Riho Bone Spear. Was a guarantee at one point, I believe 90 void shards. I think the first void guarantee. Brings all the buffs under the sun in one move. Very good against Clan Boss. Very good against Chimera. Very good against Shadow, what's that? Phantom Shogun, sorry. Also brings a cleanse and a big heal and a cool passive, not necessarily overpower or anything, but a cool passive overall that basically deflects the first debuff that she gets back to the attacker. And yeah, like I said, some cool epics here. I'm not going to cover them all, but some Mikage pieces. You got Madame Sirius and Ursula the Mourner, one of the better epic revivers in the game. So good batch of guys for the summon event this weekend. Like I said, totally ignore this. Focus on saving resources for the upcoming Alice in Wonderland themed event happening January 8th. Lastly, guys, there are some rebalance changes, honestly, to one of the champions that is strictly, desperately needed, to be honest. Tremera here, Dark Elves champion. Plarium says, with the upcoming changes, our goal is to enhance her supporting abilities, granting her more protective elements for the team. Currently, she's completely, like, utterly useless, to be honest. She has decent base stats overall, but her, A1, AoE, decreased speed, chance to place fear. Currently, AoE again, placing stuns. 4-turn cooldown, attacking has a chance to decrease turn meter by 30% without stun, so you either stun or decrease turn meter. And then her A3, remove all debuffs from all allies, so she has a 3-turn cleanse, then does the turn meter fill. Fills the turn meter of each ally further for 10% for every fear removed. So it's fine, but she's a void legendary, so she doesn't see much use or any use at all. But of course, you can obviously use this as a 3-turn cleanser. Her passive, she's immune to sleep. Maybe she becomes useful one day when there's like a perma sleep champion, maybe. But anyways, let's see what they're changing for her. So first of all, her A1. Her A1 is going to be, her turn meter is going to be, it's going to become 50% or less. So it makes it easier to apply the fear. That's good. That's a good upgrade without being too crazy. Her A2, after attacking, has an 80% chance of decreasing enemies' turn meter by 30%. So let's see, after attacking, has a decreasing by 30%. So it takes away the stun condition, which is really good. So now she does a 4-turn stun. I don't like the 4-turn, to be honest, because there's 3-turn stun champions nowadays. But you got a 4-turn stun, and if it doesn't stun, actually, it's a 4-turn stun and also turn meter. So it's a stun plus turn meter pushback on a 4-turn. That's kind of interesting. Not too sure. Lysandra has a pushback turn meter as well. This is a big pushback, 30%. But it definitely makes her a lot better, for example, because currently it's one or the other. In the future, it's going to be both at the same time. So it's going to be a lot better. Her A3, in the future, it'll be placing a block debuff on all allies. So she's going to remove all debuffs, fills turn meter, and then places block debuffs. And then this turn meter stuff's all going to happen. Okay, so that really improves her quite a bit. So now she has the standard, like Cardio-esque standard, 3-turn cleanse with a block debuff. But she also brings a bunch of turn meter stuff too, which actually makes it pretty high value. So her cleanse ability actually goes from like average to like pretty top notch in terms of what voids can provide. Yeah, I mean, this is really good. It's probably not like Riho gives you heals for the debuffs removed. She gives you turn meter, and then turn meter of 5% for any other debuff removed. Yeah, so she gives you turn meter. Riho gives you healing, for example, on her 3-turn cleanse plus block debuffs. It's okay. I mean, yeah, Tremera's would be better than Riho's now because you get automatic 15% turn meter. But I don't know. Sometimes the healing's good too. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but yes, this improves drastically. And her passive actually improved significantly as well. So currently she's only immune to sleep. In the future, she'll be immune to sleep, freeze, fear, and true fear. Like that's pretty massive. That's a pretty massive passive, no cooldown or anything. She just naturally she's just naturally immune to that stuff. And that's pretty huge. That's pretty huge because not only is she immune to it, she is a cleanser too. So she can be immune to stuff and then cleanse off and help your team. It's actually massive. Fills its champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an enemy tries to place it. So yeah, she can be potentially really good in Chimera as well. Potentially. Since she has all this turn meter pushback as well as a cleanse block debuff now. The stun's not going to be too useful. And the pushback here on the A2. Decreased speed is useful. Also has fear. She actually goes from... Yeah, she actually is kind of top tier for a Chimera. I mean, she's a Void Lego. Not many people are going to have her. But if you have her, she's going to be a top look now for a Chimera for sure as a support champion. All right, guys. Up next, we actually have Skull Lord Vargal. It's a freaking wall of text here, so bear with me. But Skull Lord Vargal, he actually got buffed in the past already. So what's going to happen here with his A1? So his A1 is going to be irresistible. His hero reduction is going to be irresistible if there's a Lizardman on the team. Okay, fine, fair enough. It's going with the theme that he is the Lord of Lizards or whatever. So he's like a pseudo faction guardian champion. His A2, if there's a Lizardman in the future, is going to be providing... No, the debuff will be irresistible. So the provoke will be irresistible on a 2-turn cooldown. This is what he's really used for, especially for Hydra. Just really good for the solid provoke. And then his strengthen will be on the whole team instead of just himself, which is really nice. So a nice little boost there. His A3, the debuff becomes irresistible if there's one Lizardman on your team. So his decreased attack on a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, this is very weak, but having irresistibility, so no accuracy needed, is very strong. So you can actually build him with even crazier stats. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do any damage, so giving him damage stats doesn't really do anything. His passive got boosted. Basically, any target with any destroyed max HP will get feared. So that's kind of nice just for consistency. And then his last passive is if you control Lizardman, at the start of your turn, it will revive a random Lizardman to 50% HP and 50% turn meters. No longer just Skulls Sworn. So overall, good buffs, but they're not going to be super impactful for him. Lizardmen generally are actually very strong already, so perhaps Skull Lord would be involved in more like arena teams. Perhaps, you know, you can put him in a bolster set and you just get a massive shield in your whole team. Lizard-only siege teams, those would be pretty cool. But yeah, I would say good, but nothing too crazy or super impactful for people that already have Vargal. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Lots of news to cover here. We know Alice in Wonderland, most likely not confirmed, but pretty much confirmed, will be happening. And it's going to be January 8th. That's when the event will be starting. Keep in mind, there's going to be a loyalty program, a 7-day loyalty program for a free champion. There's going to be an event dungeon happening. We got little tidbits of what champions could be probably in this set of stuff. Looks like it's going to be the Queen of Hearts, the White Bunny, probably some kind of Mad Hatter, probably Alice. I'm hopeful that the cat will show up because they can do some cool stuff with the cat and skinwalkers and being a support and all that. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Summon Rush, I definitely don't recommend doing anything too crazy this weekend. Some balanced stuff, which is good, but not game changing. But I think Tremera is actually going to be very, very good if you have her. She basically vaulted herself from being average, below average, void legendary to being particularly good in Chimera at least. So anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, I apologize for the audio distortion in some of my recent uploads. I tried my best to, like I said, fix that, but it's very, very difficult. But hopefully these videos will no longer have that moving forward. Once again, thank you guys so much for your understanding. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.